Hello again, Michael here, and in this WordPress training video we're going to talk about comments and how to deal with comments that patrons have left for you. I have a separate video on dealing with the settings, so you don't necessarily have to watch that one first, but these examples I'm going to show you here are based on kind of the settings that I do recommend in that other video and pretty much are mostly the settings that you already have from the start. So you'll want to watch this one kind of in combination with the discussion settings video that's related to this. So starting out here on the test blog, and what I want to do with this is the first thing I'm going to do is show you what the user experience is if they want to leave you a comment. So we've got a few posts here. Scroll on down just to kind of show you those. And I've gone along and I'm thinking, hey, this is kind of a great idea and I'm one of your readers and I want to leave a comment on this. So now where the leave a comment link is will kind of depend upon your theme, but it should be rather obvious. And so I'm going to go ahead and click on leave a comment here. And it brings up the page that is the post. Scroll back up here just a little bit to see that. And you will see that a previous comment has been left on this. I'm going to go ahead and leave a new one here. And because I left a previous test comment, it has remembered my information for me. So I'm just going to go ahead and leave that here. But your user would generally fill in their name, their email address, which are both required, and their website URL if they have one. And I'm going to write something like, oh, I think this is a great idea. I love the fact that the library is doing this. Okay, and then we scroll on down here and we have a Captcha. This is to prevent some spam. It's not going to prevent all of it, but it's basically kind of a little test to make sure that the person filling out this form is human. I will also point you out to the settings reCAPTCHA video that has a little more detail on this. So I'm going to go ahead and try to solve this one here. ILSNGULTUTE. Now, I will also say that the person can hear this if they want, although I've been getting reports it's not very good, and I will agree with that. Also, if it's completely unreadable, they can always kind of get a new challenge here, kind of refresh that and get another choice. But I think I've got this right, so I'm going to go ahead and click Post Comment, and it should just take a second, and it should say, okay, there it is. But notice it does say your comment is awaiting moderation. And if we look down here real quick, that's my email program, and notice that an email has already come through to me. Again, I refer you to the settings video related to discussions. So, okay, I am now the person receiving this. I'm not the commenter anymore. I'm now the person receiving it. And so I'm going to switch on over to my email program and go to my inbox here, and you will see that I have a new email that says a new comment has been posted on that particular post. It's waiting for my approval. It tells me who it's from, their URL if they left one, give me a little information about the IP address that the person left this on, the actual comment itself, okay? And then from here I have some links available to me. I can approve it, I can trash it, or I can mark it as spam. And it's also telling me that there are currently 2 comments awaiting for my approval, and I can go ahead and click on this link to get into the dashboard for that also. Now, I want to talk about a couple of different things here. One, if you approve it, it will automatically be published on your approval. If you trash it, it will just move it to the deletion box. And if you spam it, that means that any future things from this person will also be marked as spam. So you want to be very careful about that. I'll come back and show you some other examples in just a few minutes about things you might want to spam. Now, I can go ahead and click on these links, and I usually do, but in this case for this video, what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to go back to my browser here and log in to show you what it looks like from the back end. Okay. And you will see here that I have 2 comments awaiting approval, or 2 new comments. We'll just assume that they're needing approval here. And I'm going to go ahead and click on comments. And you will see an interface very similar to the interface that you've seen with pages and posts, but with a little more detail here. We have the information on the author, how many previous posts or comments have been approved for that person. their email address, their URL, their IP address, the actual post, or excuse me, the actual comment, apologize for that, the date and time that the comment was written. And you notice as I hover over this, I have these options. So I can approve it, I can reply to it, I can quick edit it, I can edit it, I can look at that person's comment history, I can spam it, and I can trash it. In most cases, what you're just going to want to do is you're going to approve it. And so you click approve. It says that it is now, it's been approved, so therefore we have an unapproved choice. In other words, you can retract that. And if I go to my blog, and I'm going to scroll on up here onto this, and I'm just going to refresh this page here. And you will see now there is an actual published post. This is the one that, excuse me, published comment that has been approved. Okay. If I was to unapprove this, it would disappear upon the next person seeing it. Now let's say I want to write a reply to it. I can say, hey, glad you like it. Okay, you want to get that interaction going between you and your commenters. Go ahead and submit my reply. And since I'm logged in as me, I don't have to approve that. It's automatically approved. And if I go back to my blog post and refresh that, you will see there is the reply, and it's kind of indented to indicate that it is an actual reply. Some of the other choices, let's say, you know what, I just want to delete this. You can go ahead and trash it. You can spam it, okay? And let's use this one as an example. Probably not something I would want to do in this case. I want to be able to comment on my own blog. You can actually edit people's comments, and quick edit allows you to, just kind of edit here, whereas full edit takes you to another screen to do the editing. I really want to discourage you from editing other people's words. Okay. The only example I can think of where you really might want to consider this is if somebody does do a legitimate comment, okay, but maybe their language isn't that great. For example, and pardon my French, I think this is a dumbass idea. All right. Well, they could legitimately feel that. They're not necessarily being abusive, but you probably don't want one of those words in there. So you could, in theory, go in, edit that, and maybe put an asterisk instead of the S's. I would not actually change other people's words. For example, just have it say, this is a dumb idea. If you start doing that, people will really get upset. So maybe the library's policy should be, we'll edit for language, we'll insert asterisks or hyphens instead of some certain words. You could do that, but be very, very careful about editing other people's content. Okay. All right. So that's what's going on there. I'll just show this quick history here for a second, and we'll pull that up. And what this is going to do is kind of list the posts that have been written by a particular person. If you have somebody who's very prolific, you might want to take a look at that. But chances are at the beginning you probably won't have too many of those. Okay. One other thing I want to talk about is how do I know if a comment is spam or not? And I've kind of saved some examples that have come through recently. Some of these from our other participants' blogs. I let them actually decide, but I kind of save some copies of these. Here's just one example from the Republican Valley Library System. They wrote a blog post titled eBook Reader for Christmas. So they got a message that looked very similar to this, and it says, I'm using a Kindle and iPad to read PDFs, but iPad I have to email it to myself and download them via email application. Then I can read books this way. Well, grammatically it's not amazing, but the question here is this spam? Well, it reads like a perfectly good comment, doesn't it? I think so. I mean, grammatically maybe questionable, but, not everybody's grammar is perfect. But the key here is, look what they've done. This is somebody who's put in the URL as loseweightwithfood.com. This is spam. Basically, what they're trying to do is they're trying to get a link from your site to their site. They've written some text that sounds really good and relevant, but what it is they're dumping this lose weight with food. Okay? This is obviously somebody who is not really interested in your site. Okay? You got two options. You could spam this, or you could edit it so that the link has been removed, but the comment is there. really in this case, chances are it's not really one of your patrons. It is a spammer, so I would really just mark this as spam. Okay. Another example here real quick. This one's even less relevant. This is a lot more obvious. My niece was laughing at me when reading this line on your blog, and it's a bunch of dots. It also made me think about the day I ran into my husband. Okay. What does this have to do with the art of keeping visitors longer on your blog? Okay. And then they've got a link here to an article about how to forget the breakup. Okay, really, this one's spam. Totally mark this with spam. I did. If anything else comes through from this person, it'll be marked as spam, and you'll never see it again. So there's how commenting generally works from the user's perspective, the email you're going to receive and what you can do with it, how you can approve, mark as spam, trash, and edit comments in the back end, and some general advice on how to identify spam comments. As always, if you've got any questions, just go ahead and leave a comment on this post with this video, and I'll be happy to help you out. And as always, thanks for watching.